I just spent a fascinating hour or so with the lady who is the curator for this house, and I'll show you the name of it in a moment. Calling her a curator is like calling a brain surgeon a person who does something with the head. Large entry. I don't know what they call these large rooms where you entered in. This wallpaper, this is all painted on. Nice little umbrella stand for my hat. Here's a little bedroom. And we get an idea of how those alcoves were treated. Endowed with curtains. And again, the painted work. Small room. No, actually, this is the stairway upstairs. We'll do that in a moment. Recognizable furniture, what I would call Victorian. It's interesting. Takes us up into the bathroom area. Here, the wood may not have been originally painted, I don't know. So hold a small stove into this bath. I'm pretty sure it's a bath. You see the drain there, the slope downhill. That was probably ventilation there. Again, the drain hole there. And we're stepping up to still a higher level. Oh, this is pretty, isn't it? It looks like there would have been paintings of some sort there. All that remains now, the pictograph of it. Was there a heater back in there, a stove, and then heated water? So, something else came out here perhaps. Fountain, I don't know. There's air rushing out of there now. These benches perhaps, and steam yourself. Does this increased height of these floors suggest that it was heated underneath somehow? Clearly, the slope is almost radical down to that drainage down there. You can see that there were hinges there for the door. Here we can see just the faint outlines of the early paintings. The murals that would have been here. But see here, in detail incised into the plaster, suggests other design elements. It gives us a better impression. Is that a Star of David? How mosque-like this is, and how bath-like this is. Duty pipes, they might have just been for a faucet. For that drain, that right there, but could that have been a shower-like thing? I don't know. It was a cooling off room. Surprising amount of windows for a bedroom, was it? Stairs is where you lived. So the grand rooms. Now in this house we're supposed to be able to see well-preserved murals of the various cities in which his business trade took place, from where he made his money. A carved fountain. Wood floors, once polished, varnished, and without the seams we see here. Room set up perhaps for tea service, but who knows. But what's interesting here is the very elaborate alcove. And there presumably a scene from one of the exotic cities he traded with. Room. Look at the size of that massive furniture, but you needed furniture like that just to fill up the void. A pompous, cumbersome, heavy desk. When it was new, perhaps these colors were brighter. It's a rich look, that's for sure. That to that mural, but could it be St. Mark's Square in Venice? Room are windows that opened up into the adjoining rooms. Did that make for larger, more sociable gatherings? Imagine the business deals, the social contracts, the arranged marriages, the romantic, heated moments. That's two different thoughts. Down into the side yard and what perhaps may be the servants' quarters. And there the entrance. Ornate room, very ornate, particularly the ceiling. With the beautiful murals on it. The man who did this took 6 months apparently to do these interiors, he and his workers, interiors art-wise. And here are what must be considered some of the outstanding murals. Surely to a man of his time, this scene was recognizable. It isn't to me. Look at the beautiful edging detail along the ceiling and the wall. A man must have enjoyed the finished product, and his wife, when it was all fresh and bright. How they must have celebrated its inauguration with some grand event of the most important people of Plovdiv and the trading era of its time. He might have had that clout. Again, a rich wood ceiling, it looks like, but painted. you can be sure that the work that was done here was known amongst the intelligentsia, the wealthy, as the height of financial and the large ships of its day, that much of his wealth perhaps was transported on. Those who were not knowledgeable, he graciously added the name of the scene, so they would be both impressed and not embarrassed. That is definitely Venice, definitely Venice's Great Bridge. Stairs that I did not get a chance to video. Now there's some heavy, rich furniture. The exterior. It has a nice bright look to the outside. I just spent a fascinating hour or so with the lady who is the curator for this house, and I'll show you the name of it in a moment. Calling her a curator is like calling a brain surgeon a person who does something with the head. Memorialize it. She has been here ever since she got out of university. She lives on the property with her husband. The story is very fascinating. She, in good measure, is responsible for everything that's preserved inside the house, which includes not only the original painting of the walls, but the original furniture that was here in the places that it was when the family lived here, because the woman who last occupied this with the direct lineage to the man and wife who owned it was the daughter, and she died in, I think she said something like 62, and then gave it to the woman who had been taking care of her, and that woman died at some later time, and it's been a museum, and this lady has been taking care of it ever. One final note, this iron door was actually a separate entrance, unlocked only from the inside, that the owner could use to access his own wine cellar or the house in general, in essence a secret way. And this is the church right down the street.